Next up, Jasmine. And you'll see that the Steel types actually got a pretty interesting couple of new additions here. First being Metagross from the Hoenn region! Psychic Steel type, specialty of Stephen Stone, who was the original champion of the Hoenn region. Now, I'd like to say that he would live a Flamethrower because Metagross is so awesome looking, but I found that he's a little bit more frail than I give him credit for. But considering she only had, I think, a couple of Magnemites and Steelix last time, she's going to be showing off a lot of new Pokemon we haven't seen before for the Steel types. The next one being one of the starters from the Sinnoh region, Empoleon, Steel Water type. Now, the really interesting thing about the 4th generation starters that I liked a lot, their final evolutions had dual types. And typically, you know, water's weak to fire, fire's weak to... No, it's not. Fire's weak to water, water's weak to grass, grass is weak to fire. Their dual types would balance out, so if one would normally have an advantage over the other one, the secondary types would be the opposite matchup, which I thought was really interesting. Like, the grass type was also ground type, so even though grass is weak to fire, fire is weak to ground. And all of them had that kind of dual typing, which was really neat. I'm honestly surprised they haven't done it since. But Steelix again... I guess I'll go with Crunch. Crunch hasn't seen much screen time. He really pulled us through that Morty fight, though. I mean, good lord, Morty. But I do still have Surf on this thing. And I'm not sure if it'll OHKO just because of how bulky Steelix is, but its special defense shouldn't be that high. Prove me wrong, game! Why not? Stone Edge, powerful rock-type move, high critical hit ratio, misses more often than you would like it to. There's no reason for you to full restore if I could knock you out in 2 turns and I'm faster than you anyway. I'm not sure why you would waste it. You're just wasting time. You're just making me spend more time on the video with a longer time. Brain? Where's the on switch for my brain? Hang on, let me look this up. Where on switch brain? Oh, it's in the back of the head. No wonder why I couldn't find it. Why did I stay in? I thought I turned my brain on. Brain, you're supposed to be on. Why didn't you turn on? Brain. Magnezo, the evolved form of Magneton, as if you need me to explain this to you. Please don't have Magnet Rise, but instead you have Zap Cannon. Powerful electric type move, always paralyzes when it hits, but misses 50% of the time. I was hoping I'd be able to Earthquake this thing, but that's not a thing that's going to happen anytime soon. I guess I'll switch into Lupus and hope he misses the next one. Please miss the next one. 50% accurate move. Hit twice in a row. That's wonderful. Might as well switch in something to die. There's not much else I can do to this thing. I think what I'll do is heal up HCB's Paralysis, so I can outspeed it on the next turn when it finally misses a Zap Cannon. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna use one on Lupus, assuming he's going to miss the next one, and he's going to hit it. Watch. No? Well, we might have this fight yet. But the reason why I brought attention to Lock-On when Krako was first prompted to learn it was for this particular move, Zap Cannon. Where even though it only hits 50% of the time, if you use Lock-On the previous turn, it's guaranteed to hit. Which makes it at least a somewhat viable strategy. Bronzong, I'm not sure if I want to stay in. I guess we'll see. Bronzong can have one of two abilities. Psychic Steel type from the 4th generation evolution of Bronzor. This thing could either have Levitate, which makes it immune to ground-type moves, which I would like to use on it, or it has Heatproof, which reduces the damage of Fire-type moves, which would make Flamethrower much less effective than it should have been. But there's Gravity. Very interesting move, and I'm assuming that it has to have... what is it? What did I say it had? Heatproof? Not only was that a reduced damage from Flamethrower, but you wouldn't have Gravity if you had Levitate, because you can't Levitate when you're under intense gravity. And Gravity also decreases the evasion of all the Pokemon on the field, so it makes lower accuracy moves much more easy to hit with. So that's another interesting strategy as well. Don't see Gravity used very often. Six down, 10 to go. Next up, Pryce. Feels weird that we first faced him in, I want to say it was the summer, and now that it's the winter, it's actually relevant to be facing the Ice-type Gym Leader. He's going to lead with Abomasnow, Ice Grass type from the Sinnoh region. And the thing this is most known for is its ability Snow Warning, which summons a never-ending snowstorm. Now, Hail damages every Pokemon that is not the Ice type for 1/16 of their max HP at the end of every turn. So unless you have Counter Weather, it's going to be doing you that damage for the rest of the fight, which can be fairly annoying. Luckily, I just remembered that I have Lupus, who can set up a Sunny Day to get rid of the hail, which would probably be helpful because I assume most of these things have Blizzard, which now hits 100% of the time in hail. Gotta find a nice time to send him in, though. I'm not going to send him in against a water type, that's just begging for trouble. But we've already seen his Dugong before. I've already explained how I enjoyed using him very much in my Fire Red stream. He's saved my ass so many times. It's using Dive! Interesting move, that. It's like the water-based Fly, where you take a turn to go underwater and not actually accomplish much of anything, so I might as well waste time using Magnet Rise. That was one very funny sound effect. Are you going to waste a full restore on this turn? Why do I know this? It doesn't help that in these games, using a full restore, the amount of time it takes for the HP to go all the way back up, especially if something has a lot of HP, like one particular Pokemon we'll face in the very final battle that has a ton of HP. That's really annoying when he has to take a turn to heal it, because you have to sit here for like 15 seconds waiting for the HP to scroll up. Really annoying. Kinda makes you wish they had an option that you could instantly have your HP go all the way down, or have your experience go all the way up very quickly. I know there are cheat codes for that, I just haven't turned on, for the sake of authenticity, I guess. And hell, even having the battle animations turned off can save you a hell of a lot of time. But I figure it's a lot more entertaining for you guys if I have them on. Plus, it's a lot easier to see what's going on. If I have the battle animations off, then if you don't actually take the time to read what's going on, you're not going to have a clue what's going on. And who reads these days? Swine, 4th generation evolution of Swine or Swine from this generation. Ice ground type. That does not die to a waterfall. I should also mention that at least a couple of these things have interesting hold items. Avalanche, Ice-type move doubles in power if your opponent struck you for damage on the turn. I want to say it's another one of those reduced priority moves. But again, I'm not 100% sure on it. How many times have you heard me say that in the last 50 minutes, assuming you've watched the last video immediately after this one? Or before, unless you're watching it from the past, or watching them backwards, or you traveled back in time. I don't know. Where am I going with this? Why does it have a pig snout if it's supposed to be a mammoth? Did mammoths have pig snouts? I hope you have slightly more interesting ice types than that, though. Walrein! Oh god, the memories of this thing. Water ice type from the Hoenn region, one of the very few ice types that you could come across in that region. This thing is most known for using Sheer Cold a lot. At least it was when I played through the Hoenn games. I don't know if anybody else had the same experience. But thankfully, it's dead. And one-hit KO moves don't work if you're higher level anyway. I hope I will never have to explain them. I really hope. And Glalie, another ice type from that generation. I'm going to stick with Krako, because I just remembered that Steel is super effective against ice. I want to say Glalie is an evolution. I'm not sure. It's always been a really weird Pokemon to me. Just like, it looks like it's a floating mask. I have no idea what that substance is surrounding its eyes. And part of me would rather not know. I think I've learned Frostlass, Ice Ghost type, very interesting kind of Pokemon. I guess I'll send in Lupus because he's Lupus, and... yeah, that's all the reason I need, he's Lupus! But Frostlass is another one of those Pokemon that has a fairly diverse move pool. Had a lot of fun using this in Spirit Gold. It was one of those weird evolutions in the 4th generation. I think it was a branching evolution where your Snorunt had to be a female. I don't know if there were any other conditions for it or anything special you had to do to prevent it from evolving into the other thing. And with that, we have only one remaining gym leader from the Johto region.